listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks. Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Mitchell.
I'm Carlos.
And I'm Wayne.
Look at you, Mitch, with the audio setup, brother.
You were just chilling, so I figured I'd do it.
You don't play. I love it. My
Don't waste no
man
time.
he's the student has surpassed
Oh
the
my.
master. Can I keep my job?
Yes.
All right.
Good
Double
job.
your
We're-
pay.
Yeah, double.
Well, while
triple.
I get to play with buttons and set up phones, you do what Rob would normally do, which is tell people who we are and what we're doing here today and what they're part of the.
I'm
Sure,
not
so-
doing the wow thing. That's just not me.
You're not
save that
Caucasian
for-
enough. We got to say
That's
that
all
for
Rob's good for. Is
Caucasian.
the wah, wah, wah. What's up, Ron? We got you in the chat. So, yeah, we are a weekly board game call-in show. So in just a couple minutes, we'll have the phone line up, and we're going to chat about board game topics and board game adjacent topics. But what we really want is for you guys to call in, take over the show, tell us what you've been playing, and kind of, be in the spotlight yourself for a few minutes. So as soon as Carlos gets that up and running, we will have the phone lines open.
Yeah.
He made a face. I don't know if that means it's up and running. Or...
It's going. I'm going to hit the
Okay.
banner, let y'all know that the phone line's on. How's my audio levels?
It sounds good.
Good.
Maybe a little louder.
Everybody
but
good?
You sound pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
board feels like
813-618-7099. Call in. What you guys been playing lately, gentlemen?
Well, I could take a quick one off of. I'll save the one I talked for the podcast. I won't talk about that again here. But I went to a game day this weekend, and a buddy of mine who has that guy that has like the 2,000 board game collection always brings cool games or different games. He brought one called Mord in Amoroso, MORDIMARO.
God bless you.
It's weird, right? Weird game, but basically all it is your so MORDIM Mord im Amoroso.
Oh, Mord.
Mord, MORD.
In
I am.
Oh my gosh, this is like a nightmare.
I tell you, it's a weird game. It's some weird French game.
I
But
can
anyway,
count on Wayne to bring us some weirdness.
it's a weird game. Yes, but no. So what it is it's like a nesting doll that you stack up, and it's like a tower, right, or a hotel. And there's going to be two murders in the tower, and you drop in cubes in the top, and they may fall to a floor in the hotel. And part of the game is you're trying to become the least suspicious person in the hotel. And so everyone's got colored cubes that you're dropping in the top, and they're falling to different floors. And you're trying to shout out. So you can either make a call that, that's the game right there. So you can make a call that you're
Man,
not
you
on.
butchered that pronunciation. There's no
Mord-
way that is what you said.
I said Mord im Amoroso. Mord Amoroso. Whatever.
You said Amoroso. Sorry,
Amoroso,
continue,
I did. The last part I definitely screwed up, but yeah. But no, it's a little toyish game. So you have this hotel, and when you call a floor, you lift it up. And if you called that, if the three of us were playing, I would suspect that you're on those floors. And if you are, you add more cubes to the tower, and you add more cubes to the kind of accusatory board, right? And then you do that for a couple of rounds, and then you have to go and find the murders, what floors the murders are on. And at the end of the game, basically, whoever has the most cubes on the floor where the murders were, you're the most suspicious. You get 3 points, right? If
So is
you're
this a deduction game?
kind of is. You're kind of trying to listen for the cubes to fall into the tower and determine where you are.
I have no idea why there was a timer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wayne.
So it's all good. Quality show. But no, so it's
How we
kind
game.
of you're listening for how the cubes fall in a tower and trying to hear where they're falling and how far they fall in or back. And you're basically trying to get your cubes away from the murders, because the further you are the less points you score. And at the end of the game, the person that wins has the least amount of points. You're the least suspicious person. So it's a fairly simple, kind of light partyish kind of game. But it's interesting because you gotta kind of listen. Like when you drop that cube in and you hear it go, you go, oh, that's right on the top floor. You hear it go all the way down and hit the table, and you're like, oh, that went all the way down. And you kind of have to make some guesses as to where your cubes are, where your opponent's cubes are, and where those two murder cubes are.
That sounds really cool. It reminds me of this game that we played at Dice Tower East called Dreadful Circus by Portal Games. And it's basically like this bidding game where like it's also a bluffing game. You have to put things in this little box and you give them to somebody. And they have to decide whose bid they want to take. And whenever they look in the box, if they don't like what it is, then they can get rid of that and never go back to it and go to someone else's bid. And so some of us, namely Rob, was kind of cheating by like making it sound like there's a lot of heavy stuff in there, like shaking it around. And so we were like, I feel like that's not in the spirit of the game, but this game, it seems like it's one that like you're trying to listen for those little things. It like made that into a mechanic, which is
and I was trying to
cool.
like I would in some turns I would try to push the cubes in really quickly so they would fall in quick, or sometimes I'd drop them really slow, trying to change up the rate in which the cubes were falling, or push them in real quick and maybe they would fall through a couple of levels. It was fun. The factor was pretty high.
I think it's there for that small group of folks that have that skill set that shows up every Christmas, where they can go to the Christmas boxes under the tree and like shake it and tell you exactly what you got.
Right.
Like it's that kind of that listening skill set, the way it rattles, the way it sounds.
Yeah.
I can tell information from it.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
And so it's fairly rare that things fall all the way to the bottom, but it is possible. I mean, we had a few on the bottom, but the cubes did kind of concentrate on like floors 3 and up, but that might have been just the game we played. But it was fun. I mean, I don't know what it goes for, or what, but try by deny, I would say try. It's a fun game. If somebody in the group of friends had it, it's a fun little light filler that you can play sort of in between other bigger games.
So it's
fun.
€80 on the geek market.
Oh,
but
so
it's
it's a lot.
$20. It's $20 on eBay. So
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's an older game, but it's fun.
it looks like something that might be up my alley. 2010. Wow, yeah, that's like a relic at this point.
Yeah,
That's
and
older than you, man.
The game from the podcast, the game from the podcast was like 2009. So yeah, we played a couple of older games this weekend.
Cool.
Is that out of the norm for Wayne and his company?
Yeah, I guess.
I played.
We haven't
something I
heard
don't
from
mind
you this
bringing up.
week. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so not this week, but a week or two ago, I played a game called Rhine, and I can't even find it now. It's spelled weird. It's like it's the Rhine River, but it's spelled differently, and I can't even find it on BGG. I don't own the game, obviously, or else I feel like I would know. Here it is, the Rhine River Trade. So in English, we spell Rhine R-H-I-N-E, but for some reason on this one, it's R-H-E-I-N. So it's basically pick up and deliver the board game, like the epitome of it. You have these orders that you're getting, and you're drafting them. And if you can't fulfill them within a certain amount of time, then you're going to get a penalty. So imagine it's like Jeremy described it as like it's Kickstarter. And so there are different ways that you can ship it from where you are down the Rhine River. So you can go by truck, you can go by train, by boat, or by plane. And obviously, some of those things are going to be faster than the other things. But the way that it works is whenever you get the order and then you're paying to load these shipping containers on one of these different things, but like the plane isn't going to stop everywhere. It's not going to hop up down to every city, nor will the boat, nor will the train. The only way to go definitely to everyone is like your cars, but they move really slowly. So it's this really interesting thing where you have to wrap your head around the long game, which is the kind of game that I love. And it's like, so I need this to go to city 7. I can get it there in time with a boat, but the boat's going to pass it up by 1. So then I need one more turn to get a car there, a truck there, and ship it back this way. And it's basically like you're working a logistics company and you're trying to figure out the most efficient way to ship out packages, which I guess to some people may not be appealing. It may be too much math.
It's FedEx, the board game, but set in Germany.
Essentially, yeah. And it was a lot of fun. The production value, I mean, it wasn't horrible. Each of the different types of transportation had their own cut, their own mold for the little wooden pieces, and then it was different colors based on like how fast they were, something like that. The most interesting part and the most stressful part is other people can use the same transportation method as you, but whenever they do that, they can also manipulate it. So even though a plane or a boat may be able to go 6 spaces in one turn, it's only has enough time to make a certain number of stops. So if they make a lot of stops along the way, even though you book that and you could get your order in time, if they stop it sooner, you're not going to get to where you need to get to. So it's almost like Imhotep in a way where it's like, just because you're going on the boat doesn't mean that you're in control of that boat. And I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I would say it's a buy. I'm kind of on a moratorium right now on buying board games because I spent way too much money on that lately. But whenever the moratorium is lifted by my wife and me in another room, I'm trying to protect
I love
myself.
how we fix that real quick.
This is definitely one I want to check out. Wayne is
that's
muted.
funny. Yeah, but he's laughing though. He's laughing with me.
No, sorry. Yeah, I saw the quick look to the left, stage left. He's like, wait, can she hear me? Is she over there? Can she hear me?
We decided this together. I swear, together.
Yeah. We got some people in the chat. Edmund, thanks for checking in from Sweden. What's up, Sam and Rich as well.
I'm gonna go screen a call. I'll see you on a second.
All right, we can put these
Yeah, I didn't necessarily have a moratorium, but I did get a good deal on some expansions. So I did pick up the Lost Ruins Expedition Leaders, the Barren Park expansion, and then the Azul expansion that has the acrylic overlays.
So not really an expansion. You just like an upgrade pack. Is that what
Yeah,
you
it's
mean?
got like 4 new boards that have some different rules on them. And
Is
then
the
it came-
original Azul?
the original Azul, and it's like $14 on Amazon. It comes with 4 new boards and 5 acrylic overlays that you can put on any of the Azul boards, so that if you don't have to worry about things getting knocked around. Diego from our Beans and Dice podcast Discord server pointed that out to us a couple months ago. So it's been on my wish list, and it was like $12. Might as well,
It's deals like that make it hard to not spend money, right?
Yeah.
When it's under $20, I feel like it's a coffee or a couple of cheeseburgers, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard to spend money on that.
No.
Caller on the line, Jim Odak from Florida. Say hello.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, Jim?
Also known
Not
as
much.
Jodak on the BGA and Discord group. What you got going on?
Wanted to talk about Escape Winter a little bit.
Yeah, we just did our
If that's
podcast
okay.
recording this week. That'll be up on Sunday with our impressions of Escape Winter. We got to see you there, play some games with you there. Tell us your thoughts.
Absolutely. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a little different than the last one. Not to compare, but it was good. I played some good games. I was kind of surprised. There's always that one game that like with Dice Tower, it was the Great Wall for me. So you know how I like big games, right? I like the heavy Euros, the big games. Got with a guy. He brought out Tiny Epic Western.
I still haven't played that
I
one yet.
loved it. I absolutely loved that game.
So big Euros. Now you're going in the opposite
poker player.
direction. Little Euros.
Tiny
I know,
Ameritrash.
right?
Tiny Epic Western is not really
I'm a
Ameritrash.
poker player
It's-
before I started.
yeah. Sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
No, I was a poker player before getting into gaming, and the poker aspect of it like really drew me in. Like not only just that you're playing poker, but like being able to read what other people have based on their moves and stuff, just really resonated with me. And
I know it uses
so that
poker
was the game for me
cards because I've seen at Armada Games in their glass case, they have a specific set of Tiny Epic Western, like upgraded poker cards. How are the poker cards used in this game? I don't own this one.
have you ever played 3-card poker in a casino?
No, sir.
It's basically that. You're doing 3-card poker hands to basically win tricks, I guess.
So what is a 3-card poker hand?
It's
I
a
never
trick
saw
they
this
can
on Univision.
So a straight flush, 3, 4, 5 of the same suit is the best possible hand.
So you're only getting
the
3
time
cards. You're
and
I
that's it.
understand the concept of poker, but you're only using 3 cards?
Okay. Well, you only get 1 card, and then there's 2 cards on different spots on the board, and each of those spots, you're going to play whatever your 3-card poker hand is against anybody else that goes to that spot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow. That's really rando.
the town is kind of a circular thing, right?
Hey, Mitch,
so-
do your BGG thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You set up the town. The town is basically in a circle, and it is a worker placement game, sort of. So you're placing your workers in various buildings in the town to use those abilities, but then you can kind of fight for dominance over those buildings by playing poker. And you basically you deal 1 card face down in between each building, and then you have some poker cards in your hand, and you can modify that with some various abilities. And what will happen is if we're going to fight over control of a building, or an area, we'll flip over the 2 cards, and we'll play a 3rd card to make the hand. So that we'll play the 2 cards in between each building, and then a 3rd card. So your 1 card can be used, into various areas to create various 3-card
Okay,
hands.
so almost like between 2 cities, each building's going to have 2 cards on either side of it. So on the lateral sides of the building. Then
Right.
your 3rd card that you hold will be what makes that 3-card hand, poker hand, to compete against someone else. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's basically, yeah.
All right, so Jim,
That's-
what'd you like about it?
So, like, if one of the buildings has like a 3 and a 4, and someone goes there first. You're like, okay, they're going maybe for the straight. Maybe they got the 2 and the 5, and then maybe they put their second one on when there is 2 5s. Like, all right, now I know they've got a 5. You know, so you could read people, you could bluff people, you know, by doing stuff like that, and then you could force people to reveal their cards by attacking them. I just really like that. I guess it reminded me of what it's like to play poker at a live poker table.
So they're able to distill some of the
the
poker
guy that-
mechanisms into this board game.
Yeah.
Mahir
The
said
guy
at
that
Dice
brought it
Tower
out,
East that. Go ahead, Jim.
That's who brought it out. Here.
Oh yeah, I was
Oh.
about to say. He said that's his favorite Tiny Epic game. So, have you played other Tiny Epic games, and how do they stack up? If so, where would you rank this?
This was my first Tiny Epic game.
Okay.
So I've played probably about
So
half of them.
I'm kind of
And I mentioned the Jim. This is definitely in my top 3. It's Galaxies, Western, and Quest are my top 3.
It doesn't seem like a
Owners.
gamer's
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I'm hearing poker, and it's like nothing against poker, but like
There's worker placement and resource management in it because you're trying to build up. You have your guns and your ammo and your supplies, and you're trying to control buildings and add to those buildings' power over time. So there's more to it than just the poker. But I think that does throw some gamers off. And like Jim and Jim played poker. I like poker too. I used to play poker a bunch, so I really dig that. I think if you don't like poker, you'll probably won't like this game. But
most of us at our age, Wayne, we all went through the early 2000s, Texas Hold'em phases. You remember that? It was huge. It was all over TV. Everybody was playing Texas Hold'em. So I went through my phase of Texas Hold'em. I had fun playing poker. I overlooked this game. This is like maybe one of 4 Tiny Epic games that I never bought. Jim, did I make a mistake?
if you like poker, yes. If you don't like poker, then you're fine.
I do like poker. I think I made a mistake.
Yeah, I went out. I ordered it Monday and I got it yesterday.
I'm on Amazon.com right now, but my wife is watching.
Melissa, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Carlos, you can always borrow my copy and play it first to make sure you like it. So.
Okay, so we're gonna call it a try, not a buy, not a deny. We're gonna go with try. I'm with Wayne.
Well, the only reason why I say try is for me, it's a buy. I really like the game, but I know that, and I've played it with maybe 10 different people, and probably half of them really liked it. A couple of them were like, it's okay, and a couple of them didn't like it. So it was kind of like a 60-40 split as far as people who've liked it versus not.
Yeah, if you don't like games where people can do bad things to you and like totally mess up your game, you won't like this either.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the epitome of a try game,
you know,
where like depending on what you like, it's going to determine whether you like it or not. But Jim, does it make you want to try other Tiny Epic games?
No, I've heard a couple people say about Galaxies, but is their favorite, so I'm probably going to look to try that one next.
Yeah,
it's weird for me. I just, I really like the big games with the big boxes and the big figures. So it's weird for me to want to get into a little game like this.
But Jim, you're going to be stunned if you go into the Tiny Epic world, and Wayne can follow me on this one because I know he's as much of a fan as I am. That company, I think, and Tom Vassell has said it, has made mistakes by trying to cram these games into the small boxes they did. These are some really big games into very tiny boxes. And what it does is it makes it harder to manage, like because the components are smaller, the cubes are smaller, the cards are tinier, everything's harder to manage because it's smaller. They should have just made it a bigger game, and it would have sold like hotcakes.
But then they lose their shtick, One thing I will say I dislike is like I use Tiny Epic Pirates for example. It's a small box, but that thing is a table hog, and you instead of having a board, you have to lay out like 16 cards, and it's like it just makes it more fiddly. So I agree with what you're saying, Carlos, but I think they lose their shtick if they do that.
And I think what I've always said is if I'm sitting in my game, if I'm sitting at home and I have a game night, I'm gonna break out my big box game, right? But when I travel is when I take the Tiny Epic games with me because like, so when I earlier this year, I flew up to Connecticut for a week. We spent a week in Mystic, Connecticut. I don't have the space in my luggage to take a 4X game or a big, big box game, but I could take Tiny Epic Quest, Tiny Epic Dungeons, I can take those. And yeah, they're table hogs, but I'm at an Airbnb anyway. We have a big house. So I can take that Tiny Epic Galaxies box, bring it, put it in my luggage, take it up to Connecticut, and then I can take up an entire table or on a cruise ship or something like that. So that's where my niche is for using the Tiny Epic games is if I'm traveling and I know that I'm going to have room, I take one of those games with me.
Yeah, I mean, when Wayne's got to travel as a defendant in those criminal cases, he's got to travel light. He doesn't know if he's coming back in 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Jim, I appreciate you calling in, man. Okay, so before we let you go, you talked about a game you played. Patrick Havert, friend of the show, runs the con. And any feedback about the con itself? Any positive things you want to share?
Much more of a family atmosphere. Like everybody there knew each other. That was kind of nice. I guess the only thing I would say to improve it is a bigger room for the flea market.
Yeah, that flea market was tight.
I enjoyed it. I had a great time.
That flea market was tight.
I know the food was kind of like a pain point that we were required to have it, but it was kind of nice to have the food.
I don't know, bro. I was pleasantly surprised with the food. I was happy.
Yeah.
Wait, they were selling food at the con?
No, they were giving food.
What? Why is that a pain point? That's awesome.
They
It's a
had
pain point for Patrick because he had to do it as part of the
Oh,
and
I see.
Yeah.
pretzel sticks and brownies and cookies and meatballs on skewers and
Dude, that's awesome. You never have to stop gaming. Me and Rob would just be,
Right.
especially shoving
like a
down,
hobbit,
stuff down our
shoving it in
face.
your pocket like limbus bread. It'd be coming out everywhere.
Exactly.
All right, Jim. We'll catch you on the next one, brother. I appreciate the call.
One last thing, real quick.
Yeah.
One thing I learned about my father's work.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you play it on a different device, you play the same exact scenario over again.
Oh, like if you want to replay, you really enjoy that experience, you're saying?
Well, I'm saying no. That's what happened to me. Is I played them on my iPad originally, but I got to the conference and I played one on my phone instead, and I ended up playing the same version of that scenario over again.
Did you make the
Exactly.
same decisions though? Because I really thought the decision points is what flows the game in different directions.
It does a little bit, but then I knew what they were going to be.
I tell you what, our experience, which we put one on video for y'all to watch on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, like it, share it with your friends. We found it was a completely different experience when we played the same scenario. The first one,
No, there are eight. There's 8 iterations of the scenarios. If you play them on the same device, you get different stuff every time. I'm just saying if you use a different device.
okay, so it kind of gives you that same storyline, same randomized story because it's a different device. It didn't know that you already played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we did play it on the same device.
24 versions. Yeah, you got to make sure you're on the same device.
There you go, folks. It's a tip. It's a public service announcement, PSA.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Jim.
See you, Jim.
Odak, is he still winning the BGA thing? Is he still
I think
champion?
he's out.
He's out.
Michelle and I took him and Getty out. No, but it was a super
shanked him.
competitive game. It was so close. The whole time, any of us could have won, I think. So
Yeah.
now I'm just waiting for the other half to finish so we can get to the finals.
Message. All right, so you
I think
talked
we
about
got
the game you
a
played.
a hanger on coming in here.
Oh, we got a Rob coming in. He made it from the storm.
Yeah, crazy storm. What I
Did
missed?
it
Rob,
melt?
you got to give us the wah 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 thing.
Wah, 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 wah.
There we go.
White guy wah, wah.
We were lacking that.
The gentlemen were
that.
offering to handle it for you, but I'm like they were not Caucasian enough to deliver it in that
I'm
manner.
pretty white. Yeah,
That's why you're the rice to my bean, brother. You're the rice to my
Absolutely.
bean.
Absolutely. I was watching. I rushed home. I got home about 15 minutes ago, but I figured I'd wolf down some McDonald's while I was watching you guys. So
My man.
good job, hold it down.
I understand. You didn't want to talk to Jim. You waited until the second he hung up.
I was listening to Jim. Actually, I wanted to comment. I didn't catch the end because I was as soon as I went to turn on I moved the mouse on my computer, it crashed and it was like I got to restart Windows. So anyway, looks like Carlos is going to scream. But I know Jim was talking. Did he get into? I know he was talking Tiny Epic Western.
Yeah.
We played until 2 a.m. We played Western Legends. Did he talk about that at all?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. It's another Western game. I know he's big on the Western games, and we ended up calling it. We did a 6-player game of Western Legends. We played until we started, I think, around 10 o'clock, and we ended it a little after 2 when I commented, "Hey, I got to drive back to Tampa tonight, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes back to Tampa." So we finally called it. I think the leader was at 16. Normally the game ends after somebody breaks 20 points. So, but another really good game. Although I don't know that I want to play that at 6 players again anytime soon. But that's a lot of players.
Absolutely. Let's see if Carlos is allowing this call through or not.
Yeah, he's talking a lot. Let's see. Is he going to wave us down? Oh, he's laughing. Oh, he's having a good old time over there. No,
There you go.
he's going to.
Yeah,
Chat it
bad storms in Tampa tonight. That was pretty torrential downpour. We got home
Yeah.
from soccer practice right before it rained, so I
Yeah,
know
we
the feeling.
were. What I thought was going to be a little 20-minute trip over to Walmart ended up being almost an hour shopping, and then right as we went to leave, the skies opened up. So we stood there and we're waiting for it to let up, and then 15 minutes later, still hadn't really let up. So I finally ran out and grabbed the car, but pulled around.
Oh, with the skies opening up, we got another caller here.
Oh,
My man, Ron Frazier from
Ron
Atlanta.
Frazier, how you doing, Ron?
What's up, Rumi?
I'm good. Good.
How them boys?
Very
How them
good.
boys?
Wow. Just like that. So I have a question. There are 32 NFL teams. There was one NFL team that did not score a touchdown this past week.
I got my buzzers ready.
We
Who's gonna
got
answer that question.
We got to flip that to be the more positive answer. There are 32 NFL teams, and only one didn't allow a touchdown this weekend, and
there
that
you
would
go.
be
The Tampa Bay
the
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Correct.
Hey, I'm from New Orleans. I'm a Saints fan. So like,
Woo! Man, did you watch the Saints game, Ron? That was
I
a nail
did.
biter.
That was amazing. There are Falcons memes all over the internet, and it's great. It's lovely.
So I love New Orleans. I love the food. Love the people. I hate the Who Dat stuff. That is the
Oh,
most
yeah.
annoying chant in a stadium ever.
Who dat?
Yeah, I'm not a football guy, so I don't really care if you bash it. It's fine.
So what you got going on?
You're
Ron?
talking sports games, Ron. What's your sports games you're talking about?
So, have you guys ever played Bottom of the Ninth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I was just curious because there's talk about baseball highlights 2045, and then the football equivalent and whatnot, and sports games don't get a lot of love, but that's actually my favorite sports game.
Which one? Which one? You named a few there, and they were all good to me. Which one?
I'm sorry, Bottom of the Ninth.
Okay. Bottom of the ninth.
Yeah. So let me just give a brief overview of what it is. So it's a baseball game. It's a one-on-one baseball game that only focuses on the bottom of the ninth inning. So one person is playing the home team who's pitching, and the other one's playing the away team who's batting. And the object of the game is for the batting team to score. And if they score, they win. If they don't, the home team wins, of course, because that's the rules of baseball. It's assumed that the home team's gonna score at the bottom of the ninth and win the game, whatever.
Right. So
I
you're
love
playing.
the game.
You're playing either one of two teams, either the home team or the away team. And in a baseball game, it's done in innings. Innings are done in tops and bottoms. And normally in a baseball game, when you get to the bottom of the ninth inning, if the home team is not leading the game at the bottom of the ninth inning, you have to finish the ninth inning. But if we get to the midway of the ninth inning and the home team is winning, you don't even play the bottom of the half. It's too late. If you're winning 2-1 as the home team, we get to midway in the ninth inning, game's over. In the bottom of the ninth inning, which I have my copy here by Dice Hate Me Games. This is the full
Rob, is that
Kickstarter
your
version.
company? Dice Hate Me Games?
Could be. Yeah.
I own 2 copies of this game. That's how much love I have for this game. I got the basic version, and because I loved it, I found the Kickstarter full set and got it. So you're playing one of two teams. You could be the home team, meaning you are tied in the game. It is tied, like 1-1, 2-2, 0-0, don't matter. As the home team, you got to score 1 run. That's all you got to do. You're batting, you're trying to score 1 run. As the away team, you're pitching, you're playing defense. You just got to hold them off. That's it. Hold them off to the next inning, and you're considered the winner of the game. That's how this game plays. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. So what's awesome about the game is that like there's this whole psychology going on because you have these two tokens that represent the direction and the location of the pitch, and the batter's trying to guess what the pitcher's going to do, and the pitcher's trying to outsmart the batter. And like the different players have different powers that go on with that, and it's just a fantastic game. I love it. And I play baseball 2045, and I like that game very much too. But I feel like this is a better game, and it plays shorter. It plays in like 5 to 15 minutes.
Right. This is definitely a lunchtime game. And wait, sorry, Ron, you kind of flashed through the main mechanism of the game that makes it awesome, which I threw myself as the highlight because I got the game up in front of me. I want to show this off as these little buttons you get, these little baseball buttons. And they have on 2 buttons, you're going to have either high pitches or low pitches on one side. And then you're going to have inside pitches and away pitches on the other side. So you're going to have these 2 buttons, and each player, right? One's being the batter, one's being the pitcher, is trying to decide what type of pitch to play. So you're going to lay down, Wayne, you're going to lay down on your side of the table, face up. Do you want it to be a low pitch that's inside on the batter or away from the batter? Do you want to throw a high pitch that's inside the batter or away from the batter? You kind of hide it from the other player. And then that other player is going to decide the same question that you have, high and away. They're trying to guess what the pitcher's throwing. And if the hitter is able to guess If the hitter is able to guess what the pitcher is throwing, then the hitter gets the hit. Like they get a more solid contact. Their ability to knock that ball is better because they were able to guess what the pitcher was throwing. Ron, you talked about you played baseball like Little League, right?
I never actually played Little League. I tried out a couple of times to play street baseball.
I did more street baseball growing up. We didn't have the money to play Little League, but I made sure my kids had the opportunity to do it. So I got to coach in it.
Yeah.
That's the main mechanism of baseball. As the hitter, if you can guess the pitch that the pitcher is going to throw, you are 90% better odds of getting on base. And you bring this game up and you hit my emotions. Because I played against Rob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I broke the game for you because I just randomly flipped those tokens every time. You would do your prediction, and I would just randomly flip them, and I was like, I don't care, whatever. If you guessed right, you guessed right.
But I'm killing it.
He ruined the whole joy of the game.
Yep. The whole part of the game
for me, Robert. You ruined it for me.
I tell you what, so I've never played the physical version of this game, but I own the app, and the app is really cool because it's like animated and you pick the things. So it's a fun app that you can pick up, from the Amazon or Google Play App Store. So
I didn't know I didn't know it was an app.
Yeah, Bottom of the Ninth has a cool little app. Go ahead, Ron.
It's just a base game though, because it didn't sell well enough for them to put in expansion content, which is a shame.
And that conceit is really interesting. Of basically one player is just trying to make sure the other team doesn't score a run. It's a really what's the word I'm looking for? It's a really realistic type of asymmetry that I guess theme-wise, I know I'm not a theme guy, but really makes me want to try the game out, even though I'm not a sports guy. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it is that quintessential part of baseball of, you're down in the bottom of the ninth, and you make that comeback. You either make that giant comeback or you strike out swinging. Mighty Casey comes to bat. That kind of stuff.
But there's even more to it. There's turn zero stuff. You're going to be drafting a team, creating your lineup. So Mitch, you're creating a lineup of hitters based on position. So you're trying to build your team lineup like a manager does. Based on how this hitter hits, I'm going to put him in a certain part of the order, right? I might put this fast person at the top of the order because I want them to get on base early, knowing that they can get around the bases faster than maybe my big hitter, right? Because my big hitter might be someone who isn't going to run the bases, but you know what? They can hit a ball and let that faster runner get around quicker into home and make that score. So you're trying to make those managerial decisions. On the other side, the other players making their pitchers' decisions. Which pitchers am I going to bring in? And each pitcher has their own pitch, like their favorite pitch. It's theirs. And they tend to get a strike every time they pitch it. But every time they pitch it, they have to exhaust either a high or away. So it's either lateral or vertical, right? So you're going to move those buttons down. And as you throw your pitch, you're bringing down and exhausting your ability to use that side of the button. So this is where Robert got much information on me, because if I threw my good pitch over and over again, I got to a point where I couldn't throw low pitches anymore. So he knew that I was always going to be throwing high. All he had to guess was whether it was going to be inside or away, right? So there's a lot of thinking in this game. Ron, I'm glad you brought this game up. But you can tell I'm excited. I'm getting a little giddy. Go ahead, Ron. Back to you.
Like
Yeah.
baseball.
So I just wanted to bring the game up because it gets no love. Like, I mean, there's so many games out there, and you know, there aren't a lot of good sports games anyway. But check that one out. If you're listening to this, go check it out. If you're not a sports fan, I would definitely say try it. If you're a baseball fan, sit by it. Absolutely.
So I think that's
Kyle from Chi-Town would say the same.
Yeah, and I think there's something about baseball, because it's a fluid game, but it's not like football or basketball or hockey or even soccer, which is constantly moving. That baseball, I think, lends itself to board game implementation more than any other sport, because of the math of it, because of the statistics, because of the individual plays that you can do a play and then reset. Football is a little bit better, like you Blood Bowl and things like that. But I think baseball really is, like, I think if you think of all the different sports games you've played, there are way more baseball-based games, whether it be board games, card games, whatever, that work.
I'm a dad of 3 boys, right? So I've got 3 boys, and my wife was a softball player growing up. We did nothing but baseball our whole lives. And there's a reason that this Beans and Dice shirt is a baseball uni. There's a reason I have 21 for Roberto Clemente, and Rob has 8 for the Orioles, Cal Ripken. There he is. Because baseball to me, and oh man, I'm getting on my horse here. Ron, you got me going now.
Get on that.
Baseball
get on that
for me
Number
is the
2.
closest sport to baseball there ever, or to board games there ever is. And this is the reason I loved being a little league coach and manager, is because at the end of the day, I could spend all day thinking about which players I'm going to put at what positions, which players I'm going to put in what batting order. But when it came time to throw a pitch and hit a ball, I had no control. That was the chuck of the dice, right? But I can do my best to try to put that one kid that I know does a really good job at catching grounders at second base and moving them to a certain spot based on the knowledge I have about the hitter, right? And their tendencies of where they tend to hit the ball, in hopes that I got the odds right. And when it came together, it felt like just like dropping like tonk, bomb, tonk. Oh, I'm out, tonked out. Kind of like a board game feeling to it. So yes, baseball and board games.
No.
I don't think he is.
Not sure. He's all excited. Now he's making up words.
Tonk. Yeah, I never played tonk. You never played tonk for honey buns or?
Is this another
lunches?
old person thing?
Is honey buns a person?
It's
Oh no.
it's an urban thing. It's an
college
urban
nickname.
thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say curling. You got curling. You got shuffleboard. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I definitely play tonk. Anyway, that's I guess that's enough for one phone call.
you can save some for next week.
Ron called in and riled up Carlos. He's ready to go.
Yeah, got them all going now. Yeah.
I appreciate you, Ron. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to get excited about what we do here.
Get on his high horse.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Good night,
Have a good night, Lon. Thanks for calling.
Lon. You just call him Lon?
But like that's honestly like one of my issues, not issues, but one of my regrets is I'm a big sports guy too. I love sports and I love board games. And there's not a good I get, Blood Bowl, there's some football stuff, but really like hockey and soccer, there's just really no good board games for those. And it's just, I don't know if there's ever really going to be. I know that Ignacy and Portal Games has a soccer one coming out, but it's more of a managerial one where you're kind of managing the team as opposed to playing the game. So back it, but we'll see. But yeah, I wish there was a better way to bring some of the sports world into the board gaming sphere a little bit better.
Table Golf Association. We played that at
there
Dice
you go.
Tower East.
Gonna
It's
see
it's
them.
got some mechanics in it. I know we've talked about this before, but not only is it a dexterity game, but it's like if you're in the sand, you can only use like your left pinky finger and it can't touch the table and things like that. And I feel like it's a pretty good simulation of golf.
Yeah, we're going to see them again at Your Turn Con here in about a month.
Right.
So
Yeah.
looking
Nice.
forward to that.
I'm gonna have to give that a shot. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot there.
Yeah, it's pretty
They're
cool.
going to have a little tournament there. Yep.
What other sports games have y'all played that you felt were good implementations as board games that gave you the feel of sports games? I know y'all mentioned Blood Bowl, so I'm not going to get on that high horse. We're going to let that one go. I do believe Blood Bowl is very close, very, very close to feeling like a manager of a sports team.
I don't really play sports games.
My man, Rob, I completely forgot about that. Thunder Alley.
Racing.
Holy crap, he's right. Thunder
Are we gonna get
Alley.
into the
Oh,
whole argument whether racing is a sport?
Rubbin is racing. Rubbin is racing.
I'm
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. You go out and hit the pit car. Or hit the pace car, because it's the only thing you haven't hit on the track yet.
Yeah. This is a good one. This one, you get into some negotiation, you get into some team sports, you get into knocking some stuff around, taking damage, fixing stuff. I mean, it really gives me the feel of playing a NASCAR game, which is what it is, a racing game. You're not reliant on the luck of the dice. There is still a good amount of luck in it for your card draws, but you're getting a good, you're getting one more card than number of cars that you have, depending on how many people are playing. You get a certain number of cars that you're racing, and you're scoring based on where each of your cars finishes. So you're not just trying to be the first one across the line. You're trying to get your whole team to work together to kind of drag each other around the track, push each other around the track, and you're going to end up, your points are basically going to end up your average position of how your team of 3 or 4 or 5 cars finishes. And so that's one I like a lot.
And so that's a game that you have to play a campaign of that game. You really just can't do one. You could do one race, but the game really shines when you do a bunch of races.
Yeah, I like the campaign part of it. I like stringing them together. That is fun also. But yeah, we've done one race. I mean, one race you can do multiple laps, and it's fun. Yeah, it's a good game.
I'll tell you what though, because Robert's right. I played Thunder Alley with Robert at conventions and whatnot. I had fun. It was great. Good game. Loved it.
Yeah.
Then Robert's dad got a hold of some tickets on Veterans Day.
Oh yeah.
To the Daytona 500, and he invited me out. I went to my first NASCAR race. I wasn't a NASCAR fan. It wasn't my thing. Rob knew I like racing.
Yeah.
I watched road course racing, like endurance racing, sports cars. So Rob's like, "Hey, you want to come?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll check it out. We'll go watch cars make lefts." Okay, y'all can make lefts. Hey.
He made fun of it quite a bit before we went. But yeah.
The whole trip, I'm like, "Hey,
every
we're gonna make some
Sunday.
lefts." Guess what? It's another left. But now, every Sunday, every Saturday, I'm watching qualifying. Every Sunday, I'm watching NASCAR. There is so much strategy involved, and Thunder Alley hit it so well when it came to implementing on the tabletop the feeling of NASCAR, right? Because it made no sense to me, all this movement back and forth. Like, how can one turn I be ahead, but now I'm in the back? I don't get it. Don't make no sense. But when I watched a race, that's all part of that long-term strategy. It's all about testing your car. How fast can I get from the back to the front? And I'm making changes every pit stop to kind of modify my car, dial it in, get it right, so that at the end of the race, I'm at my peak and I'm at the top. Not only that, I'm calling my spotters, right? My spotter is calling. So if all 4 of us are racing in a race, my spotter might call Mitchell's spotter and say, "Hey, Carlos is asking if Mitchell can give him a tow," right? Because we're low on fuel. But if you give us a tow, we will help you at the next few runs. You can come behind us and get a tow and save some fuel, right? So we're like building like teams within teams of cars coming together, and that's exactly how Thunder Alley works. I'll have a card that can pull people behind me, right? But I don't want to pull people behind me that aren't going to be helping me. So I'll be looking across the table and say, "Hey, Mitch, I can pull you if you commit to pushing me. I'll pull you if you push me."
Am I bound to that?
Well, no, you're not. You don't have to.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's amazing.
Part.
It's amazing in this game how quickly alliances are made and are broken, because people will stab you in the back. You help them out, and then all of a sudden they're gone. They're leaving you
in the
dust.
game of Thunder Rally, you live or you die. Sounds like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunger
It's
Games?
dramatic.
It's Diplomacy, the racing game. Is that what
And
we're
we've
talking
done
about?
a couple of campaigns of this where we've gotten people together and played, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of stringing these different tracks together. They have a whole bunch of different tracks, and just from game to game, depending on the layout of how the race starts and who ends up bunching up together. Again, temporary alliances within one race, or we had long-term alliances. People would get together for 2 or 3 races, try to help each other out, and then
that was amazing, Rob. You bring that
Yeah.
up, and that's awesome because we would get about halfway through the season, and you have 2 people at the bottom, right? Those 2 people committed, no matter what, they were sticking together. All 6 of their, 3 and 3 cars, all 6 of their cars, 3 of mine and 3 of yours. We're doing this together, ride or die. And next thing you know, they're in the middle and top of the pack at the end of the season because they really focused on working together.
Yeah. So just even from race to race, from even within a race, just again, those alliances came and went, and well, we found some success with people that were teaming up the whole time, and then we found other times where people would team up and it would start going south, and they'd split and do different things, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so
There were a lot of hurt feelings. Like, bro,
Oh, yeah.
I told you I would
Yep.
pull you if you pushed me, and then you left me. I will never
Barry-
trust you again.
Barry. I know you still have hurt feelings with Barry over that, but yeah,
I can't. Oh, me and Barry, we can't even be friends no more.
Man, you're giving me a flashback of diplomacy. I still have grudges over my friends from 25 years ago where I'm like, I swear you told me you weren't going to attack me. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, that happens.
All right,
It's
so
one of those
now
things.
we need to get a game together, Robert. And it's
yeah.
only on TTS right now. It's not on
Yeah.
BGA. I swear, I wish it was on BGA. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
con game
Yeah.
that, like, myself, Robert, Michael Lorenzo, and Dan Erdzik, every time we got together for a con, we made sure we got 4 other people, and we did a full table game of Thunder Alley each time we did a con together. We haven't seen Michael in a couple of years since he moved to Seattle, but let's do a TTS series, maybe a 3 or 4 game series.
Okay.
And I don't know if Getty wants in on this because I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
looking at the comments that Getty's throwing,
He
my
likes his
man
racing games.
understands
Yeah.
racing. So but I don't think he likes the TTS system. Where, you have to
TTS is
manage
tough, man.
everything.
Anybody?
Nah, TTS is tough, man.
But we had a
Yeah.
system. Like when we played Thunder Alley, Robert and myself, we would be like, okay, Robert and I will control the cars. You just tell us what you're doing.
Yep,
and
put
we
your
would
card
real
down.
quick, just
Tell us
move
which
all the
car you're
cars,
activating,
flip them
move
to
'em.
activated side, and then, all right, next, who's up? And then, throw out the wear tokens. Every time you played a card, it would wear down your car based on the card you played. It could be wear to your engine. It could be wear to your tires. It could be wear to your body. It could be wear to your suspension. It could be wear to your transmission, right? So as you're playing cards, you're taking hits and damage to these systems. If you have enough combined wear tokens of all those different types, you then have to deduct a number of speed from each card you play. You might have a 6-speed card, but if you got 6 wear tokens, you're minusing 3 every time you play a card. So you got to make a decision. At what point am I going to pit to fix all this damage? Right? I just need to pit to fix this damage. Right? You go pit, get all the damage tokens off, and boom, you're back to full speed. There's so many different strategic and tactical decisions in Thunder Alley. Robert, I'm glad you brought it up. One of my favorite sports games.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say every time that somebody like calls out Rich for something, Getty, he has another humble brag. Like I remember one time I was like, "Yeah, so like, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I work for Trivial Pursuit, making questions." And you're like, he knows his racing, and it's like, "Yeah, I designed NASCAR games for 10 years." Like what?
Yeah.
This
He's got a
dude,
thing for
are you
everything.
real, Rich?
And I was just going to say with Thunder Alley, we you mentioned we played at conventions, and we would pull just random people, and we'd set it up. People would walk by and just kind of take a look, like, "Hey, you want in on this?" And we had to twist a few people's arms, but it was by the time we were halfway through a race, they were like our best friends. They were in there laughing with us. They were watching us screw each other and all kinds of stuff. It's a game that really can suck people into it. So
And I've only fell asleep one time playing Thunder Alley. That tells you a lot about that game.
and I only got
So it's
deathly
par
ill
for the
on
course on
Popeyes
all
one
games
time.
then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For y'all in the chat and y'all watching, I mean, all 15 of y'all watching right now,
Call in.
maybe you've forgotten it. It is a call-in show.
Yeah.
There's-
813-618-7099.
There's a social contract here. We show up, you call in. It's kind of like a give and take.
All right,
Two
John
sides here.
Locke.
Yeah.
Social contract. I have something I want to talk about while we're waiting. So Carlos and Wayne both posted about this in the Discord. It's something I've been following closely because for some reason it just really intrigues me. So the whole chess debacle, right?
Okay. I was
So-
gonna say, don't bring up the chess thing.
No. I think it's so interesting. So I've
is
been
a
following this since last
PG-13
week.
show.
No. Magnus Carlsen, like world chess champion, he loses to like a 19-year-old guy without like a ton of experience or whatever. The next day he drops out of the championship and heavily implies that this dude was cheating. And some of the major people in the chess world imply this dude was cheating with no proof whatsoever. And pretty much it's like, is it Team Magnus or Team, I don't know what the other guy's name is. It's like a Twilight thing. It's like the whole chess world is divided, but there's no evidence. And so people propose that potentially this guy had some kind of vibrating thing. At first they said in his shoe, to where like somehow he was feeding information to a chess simulator to tell him what the best moves are. And yeah, it got to people saying that maybe he was using an adult toy that vibrated.
I think that was Elon Musk who started that rumor, from what I heard.
Well, I think he jumped on the bandwagon,
Oh, did he?
actually.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I don't think
Alright.
he was the one that started it. But it brings up a good point. Like, do you put so much weight in somebody who, he's been the champion, I think, like 5 different times, right? Just off of what he's saying without any proof? Like, what are you guys' opinions on that? On this guy getting basically blacklisted?
All right, right off the bat, it instantly got me to right when I pulled up here on the screen for y'all when the Houston Astros were accused of cheating, where Jose Altuve had a buzzer on his chest, taped to his chest, right? Where if depending on what the pitch was, they would tell him what the pitch. This is why he didn't want his shirt to be pulled off when he scored the winning run, the walk-off run, was because he didn't want to demonstrate, oh, I got a buzzer strapped to my chest that's telling me, hold off, don't swing. It's an off pitch, meaning it's going to be a ball, right? I don't want to swing at it, right? So it's instantly what I thought of. Like, man, how would you make that work? Number one, as a chess game. Number two, not on your chest, but in your moving on.
Well, because the idea is we know that that idea. Well, yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Keep making fun of that.
You can't let that go. He's got to pull it out every time. Yeah.
Every time. The idea is that a chess AI is better than any human, right? Because we've already shown that Deep Blue and all the other AI chess can crush even the best players in the history of chess. So if within microseconds, the moves, it can map out how to defeat the person you're playing. And if you're somehow doing a signal, however that is, it's very easy to cheat in chess if you have a way of getting, it's just like baseball, reading signals. You know what moves the guy's doing. But it's definitely an interesting story.
But people have said that they've analyzed the game and both sides made mistakes that, an AI would not have made. So it seems to discredit the whole thing. And it's just like they put so much weight in Magnus's opinion. And Magnus never, ever said out loud that there was cheating. It's just assumptions based on assumptions. And I just think, I know it's not quite the kind of board games we talk about, but it's pretty close to the board gaming world. Just the implications of like, oh, wow, this dude who's so good gets defeated. And now the whole world just automatically assumes the other guy cheated. And it's just an interesting dynamic, I guess.
The world of chess is weird because there was another story not even a year ago about some big chess guy losing his mind in the middle of it's such a high pressure world that you get some really crazy stories coming out. Thanks.
It's a great idea.
Thanks,
guys. This is what happens when you don't call in. Carlos just starts bullying us.
Too much freedom. Yeah.
Like, I'm worried about what's coming out next. Right now, it's just making fun of Wayne's voice. Next, it's going to be something more damaging. So please call.
We
in.
need your phone calls to make this work. Yeah. Wayne, Mitch is right. Wayne needs help.
I do, apparently.
Next up on the list is like hate crimes or something. So,
all right. So there wasn't any evidence to support that this actually happened.
No,
not yet.
It's
at
all
least
speculation.
Yeah, there's.
So how did it go this far?
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten banned from chess tournaments.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like chess.com banned him from tournaments, and he like got kicked out of this tournament, which is worth money. And it's like that's got to cause lawsuits. I don't know what the future is. I'm not that engaged in the chess world. Thank you, Ron. It is an interesting. I'm very intrigued. I want to know what it is. I'm mad that after a week we still don't have more answers.
You just want to know if you can use a similar device to help cheat it. The Kessler Burgundy final
in the finale. Yeah, whenever that happens. Rob, come on. You need to finish your half of the bracket. We were talking about that earlier.
Oh yeah, we've got. We're on the last round, so we're in the last stage. So we're close. We're almost done.
Man, the game I was playing was fast, super fast. Oh, yeah. Everybody was like ready to get through it. I would do a turn, and the other 3 people would take their turn within the next 5 minutes.
Scarring my shelves here for sports games. Flamme Rouge. That's another one.
I was thinking of that one. You taught me at
yeah.
Dice Tower East.
Yeah, racing. I think racing. I guess I was mostly angling towards the. Not that racing is not a major sport, but the football, hockey, baseball, soccer. Those kind of things. Team sports. Because I'm sure golf is one you can simulate. Racing you can simulate pretty easily. I think that's. But yeah, definitely racing is probably racing and baseball are clearly, I think, the front runners of games that sports that can be easily brought into the board game industry.
All right, we got a caller on the line, Samantha from Florida.
Hey,
Sam, how are you?
What's up,
Hey
Sam?
guys, first time calling in.
Woohoo!
Thanks for calling.
I wanted to talk to you guys about Hadrian's Wall. I started the campaign solo when I went and talked to. I played a game with Daryl from. I believe he's in our Beans and Dice group. Yeah. And he told me about it, so I went online and printed it out, and I have failed the first mission twice, and I'm currently working on it for the third time. So, hopefully, have you guys played Hadrian's Wall?
I have. It's been a little while. It's been. I played not too long after it came out. I played twice. And I know I've put this up in our chats a few times that at this point it's been probably a year, over a year and a half, maybe 2 years since I played. I think when I play it again, I'm going to have to go back and relearn the rules because there's so much going on in that one. It's one that you kind of got to play fairly regularly to keep up with it, or play it a bunch of times and really let that sink in. But after just playing a couple of times, I know there was. I still don't remember how the gladiator area works. I think the Michael Lorenzo taught me, and he's like, well, that one section we're just going to ignore because he didn't really know how it worked. So he's like, we're just not going to do that. There's enough going on with the rest of the game.
That would not have flown for me. I got to know every aspect, man. I can't do that.
Yeah, so we skipped over that. So I still don't think, even the second time I played, I don't think we did that part. We just kind of left that one little strip there empty, and we played the rest of it. But yeah, it's a really good game.
So Sam, you said you lost the first two times. Does that make you want to keep playing it, or is it beating you so badly that it's frustrating?
Hell no, I have to win.
Oh yeah,
I need to keep playing, and it's a point thing. So you play solo, and there's an easy mode, a medium mode, and then a hard mode. Campaign to play on medium. So I've been playing on medium, and medium basically just means how many warriors are going to come out and try to defeat your wall, and you get negative points if you're not able to guard against them because it's Hadrian's Wall. And that's how you can lose a lot of points, is by adding those up if you're not defending your wall. But you also want to get all these resources and go up on all these tracks. And honestly, Rob, I have played Gladiators one time I played like 6 or 7 times, and I've only played Gladiators once. And so I'm not really keen on it.
Okay. That's kind of what I heard, is you could kind of ignore that part and it wouldn't take too much away from the game. But yeah.
So in your couple of plays in the campaign, has it at least been close?
Yeah, so you need 70 to pass on. So the first time I think I got 58, the second time 63, and I think tonight I'm going to do better. I think I might win.
So this is again tonight.
And you can get a bonus.
Yeah, I saw you post the other night
you can
about
get a bonus where you get like. Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's a delay.
But
yeah. No, I saw you posting like I should be going to bed right now, but Hadrian's Wall needs defending, so I'm going to stay up late. So I'm assuming that's going to happen again tonight, right?
Yes, probably. I have to wake up at between 4:30 and 5 a lot of days, so I should technically be going to sleep about 9, but I never do.
She's a nurse. Got to go work.
Well, I teach nursing stuff at the job, and my classes normally start pretty early.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's good, because that means I get off early. So.
With Hadrian's Wall, you want to talk combo-tastic, if I can spit the word out. I mean, this game is combo after combo. You're doing one thing that triggers something else, and I'm going to take this resource that I made over here and go over here, and if I mark off this box, I get another resource and another meeple that I can put over here to activate another thing. I mean, if you like comboing in games, you like doing one thing on one sheet that triggers something on another sheet and put those combos together, this game's all about it.
It very much is, yeah. And you can do it really fast. So I've tried it really fast. Like, I'm just not going to think about it, and I'm just going to start throwing things and seeing what I can get. And then I tried it where I sat there and I thought about all these tracks. and it doesn't matter what I do.
I was going to say, probably it's about the same.
score.
Yep. Funny.
But there has to be some strategy because these people get over 70 so that they can pass this campaign. So if they can do it, there has to be a way.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know it's a little early. It's not even in alpha yet, but I know that there are people working on Hadrian's Wall for BGA.
Yay!
Oh, really? That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's probably still a little ways off from alpha.
On that.
Sorry.
How are you going to be able to see everything that's going on? I don't know. I feel like you're going to need 2 screens to be able to look at it all. I mean, I hear, Wayne, that you have 10. So I won't be able
yeah. He's just looking at a bank.
It's 11. Get it right.
Yeah.
No, it's like 4 or 5 screens. It's fine.
And I get it because at work I have 2, and I feel like I could definitely have 4, and life would be
No
even
need to
better.
brag
So
against us one screen people. All
I
right,
got
you're making us
3,
feel
but,
badly.
yeah.
Once you start working on 2 screens or 3, you never I don't know how anyone can work
You'll never
on
go
one
back.
computer screen.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
it is barbaric when I'm on my laptop and I don't want to bring another screen. That's being barbaric. Yeah,
Is that a Hadrian's Wall
I
pun?
agree.
Barbaric?
Barbaric? Maybe.
Oh
maybe.
no, but maybe I'm just in that mode. I'm just in that.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
You're
Well,
getting in the correct mental state to win tonight.
Yep, there you go. Ramping it up.
I am. Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Awesome.
Lovely.
Appreciate
for
you calling. Yeah,
Thank
don't
you
be a
for calling.
stranger.
All right, thanks.
Have a good night, Sam.
Good
Thanks.
night. Good luck.
I'm still waiting for Rob to teach me this game. Like,
I
Rob, you
feel
gotta
like
come
I-
over.
like I said,
It's all
I gotta
Rob's
not-
fault.
I got to relearn it now, but
I
yeah.
blame Rob for a lot of games I haven't played. Circadian's Light, Hadrian's
Yeah.
Wall.
Oh well, let's stack them up. Write them down. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Like, but is it just me? And when, somebody tell me I'm right. There feels like there's this barrier, like a wall, that
No pun.
that prevents me from trying to learn this game on my own.
It's a big
Like,
game.
And maybe it's because you've said it so many times, Rob,
Yeah.
that it is a big game that I've been afraid. Hey, are you guys good with going to 10:30? Because our viewers have gone up since.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
No.
10:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like at 10 o'clock the viewership actually goes up. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
It's
no,
like
this
it's like
this game
supply
feels
and
scary.
demand. Whenever there's only a couple minutes left to call in, everybody wants to call
Everyone's
in.
in. Yeah.
Just
I
don't
think
take
it's
Nick's.
that-
Don't take
that
Nick's call.
sunsetting thing.
Don't let Nick Oben call in.
I
He's
think
not
the
allowed.
teach
I'll
on this
block 'em.
one. The teach on this one was a good 45 minutes. I mean, Mike Lorenzo taught me, and I think it was one other person. Might have been Dan. Might have been somebody else, but he taught the 2 of us. Yeah, I think it was Dan, and it was a good 45 minutes before we were even doing anything. So it's
And it's a roll. It's a roll and write, right? Or
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
That's
There's so many little sections. It's those 2 sheets of paper that you saw there on the. I think somebody was pulling up the screens, but just 2 sheets of paper. But there's little sections, and you got to know how each one works. If I put something here, what does it do? How does it combo? How does it, do a thing with another thing? So it's you kind of have to go through and explain step by step by step. So, but it's
That's
it's
such
a good game. It's
a
worth
you
learning.
way to describe it. You do a thing with another
You do a
thing.
thing
No,
and
no
another
theme at all.
thing,
Just
yeah.
things.
Trade a cube for a cube. And, yeah. But it's worth learning, I would say. I mean, it's some people are down on it because they say, their opinion of a roll and write should be a lighter, quicker game, and for it's not a lighter, quicker game. I mean, it's basically a board game. You're basically playing a full board game, and it takes a good hour to play it. So yeah,
sorry.
It's
I
1
missed
gallon,
something in the
Rich.
chat.
It's
Oh,
1
okay.
gallon. I
Yeah,
drink
must be
this
missing something
every
in the
day.
chat over there.
As you can see, I'm behind. Though be nice on me. I am in Central Time.
You got a couple
so
hours. So you can finish
It's
that.
only 9 o'clock right now.
3
But
hours.
also, it's deceiving because there's this big hole in the middle. So the tops and bottoms are a lot more to drink than the middle. But
It's not making it any better with that description.
Get to it. Get to it. Yeah.
it's healthy, guys. It's healthy.
I'm trying to do a thing. Yeah.
And
Doing a
you,
thing
you
with a
fill that
thing.
with a hurricane, and then you're not walking the next day. You're
Yeah, I was gonna
fine.
say Wayne
That's a
would probably
Carlos
fill up
thing.
with another beverage of choice or something, but or Carlos down in the swamp water, Louisiana. So yeah.
Speaking of, I was in Miami and I had some Zephyr Hills water down there.
I
As Carlos
saw
says,
that. I saw you
swamp
post the
water.
picture. Yeah,
Did
that's
you,
from our
did
neck
you,
of
get,
the woods.
you have some good food while you're down there?
Not really. I mean, yeah,
You're talking to
it was all right.
a Louisiana guy about good food. So come on.
Yeah.
Miami-
Oh, my man Connor.
Speaking about
thought it was
good
gonna be
food,
Nick.
Louisiana. We got
Oh, yeah?
Connor on the line.
Connor tastes
Nice.
spicy, right?
Hey, Connor.
Why is it spicy?
What's
Now
going
that
on?
Carlos was really weird. What's up, Connor?
nothing much. I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on, if you've heard or seen anything about. And I know Mitchell, you and I talked about playing this tomorrow, but Call to Adventure Epic Origins.
I know you guys have played Call to Adventure, right? This is the recently fulfilled. Was it a Kickstarter or was it a pre-order?
Yes, it was recently fulfilled on Kickstarter, and I just got my copy in yesterday or the day before.
And so it's a campaign version of it, right? Can it play without the campaign as well?
So I kind of like skimmed the rulebook. All I did was like unwrap everything and just skip through the rulebook to see if there was anything different. The gameplay is the same as Call to Adventure as the base game, but there's 7 chapters that you're playing out, and so.
Sorry about that.
What? Cut me off. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so it's a game. It's a campaign that's split over 7 chapters, and every chapter, supposedly, I'm assuming, there is an adversary that you and the party that you're with are trying to defeat. So it's got elements. It's like a cooperative, competitive game, and the competitive aspect is that you're just trying to have the most stock in taking down the adversary. You're trying to have the most destiny and the most experience.
Who gets the loot, basically?
Basically, yeah. Who gets the fame and the glory behind it? But since it's split over 7 chapters and there's different adversaries, there's not as much there's not like a super big narrative to my knowledge behind it. It's more so, can you defeat the adversary or can you not? And if you happen to, then you might get all the cards in that pack added to the game. If you don't, I think there's some cards that you don't get to keep at all that you just have to throw out to the campaign. So I'm intrigued to see how it's going to work out, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on maybe your thoughts behind the base game, and what do you want to see out of the campaign version of it?
I don't want to see anything out of it. I don't think it's a game that needs a campaign, but we'll find out tomorrow. What about you guys? What are your thoughts?
I wasn't a fan. I've played one time. I know Carlos has played several times. I don't know what didn't click for me about it. I wasn't crazy about rolling what do they call them, the bones or whatever, those tiles,
runes.
The runes. There you go, the runes. Yeah,
that's the coolest part.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they look like the coolest part, but just throwing those on the table didn't really do anything for me. And I know I've heard several people say that was their least favorite part of the game. Some people, it's their very favorite part of the game. It's part of it seems to be polarizing from stuff I've read and stuff I've heard about it. But it just didn't. Yeah, the theme again. I mean, this is once a lot about theme, and the theme just didn't hook me and bring me in. So I was not a fan. I played it once, and then I'm pretty much done with it.
Well, it's because it's a dice game. Those are basically D2s.
Yeah, exactly. Rolling D2s. Yeah.
Coins are D2s.
Yeah, don't flip.
You've never heard that before?
No, I don't think I've heard that before.
Connor, you're a D&D guy. Back me up.
That's a whole thing in the tabletop. So obviously there's different sided dice, D6, D8, 12. D2 is 1000% a dice type that is used. I'm not gonna say often, but there have been some mechanics that have come out in D&D that utilize a D2. And yes, it's quite literally a coin. One side says 1, the other side says 2.
Yeah, the Cortex system that the Firefly game was based on, and a couple other Supernatural game uses D2s, but they actually give you a D6, which is 1s and 2s on it instead of a coin.
That's effectively what these runes are. They're coins. They're 2-sided coins. They're made of plastic or Bakelite. I can't remember what it was, but they were really cool. It was nice. Whatever it was nice. I really enjoyed it. All right, so let's talk about the base set, right? This is the game you're watching here. Check it out on the Beans and Dice channel, YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell.
Rob looks different in this video.
Because it's Rob was currently Patrick and Michael.
I know.
That's who
I was done with it by then. Yeah.
I enjoyed this game. I really the system to me, and y'all can hate me all you want, was so light. It was enjoyable. Like there are times when I just want light and enjoyable, and all I'm doing is trying to build cards to my character's personality and traits. Right, things like dark personalities, light personality traits that build towards what my character is, events that impacted what my character went through, that developed a storyline for my character. Using those symbols, I was attempting to get more cards to build my character up. Using runes, right? The more symbols I had on my cards that I had drafted into my tableau, the more runes I could throw, the more symbols that were helping me do better. all that to say that at the end of the game, all that work was there to create a storyline, an arc, a tapestry, if you will, for you Stonemaier fans, of how my character started from birth to, like, you know, fame or infamy of their story, right? I had like an orphan, you know, player character who had different situations impact them, and you kind of skirted that light and darkness track. Connor, tell the folks why this is good.
Well, and Carlos kept wanting me to read my story, and that's where he lost me. But go ahead.
I will say it's literally exactly how Carlos said it. He probably said it better than I could ever do. Then I'll actually go ahead and add more to it. So Brotherwise Games came out with a conversion, like a little, like I think it's like 7-8 pages, maybe a little less. A conversion that once you complete your game, whether or not you win, you can just take the cards that you built for your character, your hero, whether it be famous or not, and you can convert that into a D&D 5e character sheet with stats, feats, abilities, spells, items, backstory, everything. So I think it's a really good game, both because it's super light, like Carlos said. It's easy to pick up, easy to play, easy to understand. On top of it, if it's a group that you want to dip your toe into 5e, or a game, or even a group that is used to 5e and just needs, you know, randomized ideas for their characters, easy, great game to play because you're supplied with a race, a class, some different traits and origins, and even your destiny, what kind of motive you want to fulfill for your character.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize they had that conversion. Is that just in the Epic Origins, or was that for the base game as well, Connor?
That, I'm pretty sure that came out when the Name of the Wind expansion was released.
Okay.
Which I've never played, and I still want to play eventually. I'm going to probably buy it at some point.
Me too. So I have Call to Adventure base game, you know that, Connor, but I'm also a big fan of the Name of the Wind series and also the Stormlight series, Brandon Sanderson. And both, I think one of those is an expansion, one of them is a reskin that I really, really want to play. And isn't this new one? I think they're making another Call to Adventure with miniatures also on Stormlight Archive too. Do you know about that, Connor?
Oh, I didn't hear anything about the miniatures. I knew that the Stormlight Archive was a reskin based on Brandon Sanderson's series, and the Name of the Wind is, I didn't know there was a series based on, but Name of the Wind is a mechanical expansion to the game.
Right. One thing, and Carlos, everything he just said was all theme, so you know that went over me and Rob's heads definitely. But one thing, and Connor, you know this, whenever we play this with John, so we have a friend who's a DM, and at the end of the rulebook, it says at the end of the game, everybody's supposed to tell the story that their character went through. And I think that storytelling part for our friend John took longer than the actual game because he took it really, really seriously.
It still boggles my mind that the theater guy doesn't get into the theme. Like, hey,
it's enough. He comes to games to escape.
Yeah, Connor does theater and he does D&D, so maybe he's the better version of me.
I'd agree with that.
Clearly
Walked right into that one.
No, but but like another like a smaller detail about it is that every session of the Epic Origins campaign, there's 7 chapters. Each chapter can be played independently of itself. Obviously, you have to go in chronological order, but like what I mean is that you can play with different groups. So like you can start the first game solo. Next game it could be a group of 3. Next game it could be 3 with different people. Because the idea is that every chapter is a new generation of heroes. So the time skip is so much that it's moving at a
that is
rate.
3 dings for that. That is achievements right there, bro. Campaign games that lock you into the same people, that's just wrong.
No.
Like,
Nope. Listen, disagree.
Rob, I know you and your 2 best friends have been able to do 150 hours of Gloomhaven together.
Gloomhaven. And we're going to do it again for Frosthaven. Yeah.
But majority of humankind cannot dedicate that much time to a specific game.
So let me
get into it.
Let me go ahead and give it that one. Gloomhaven is the same way. You don't have to play the same group because thematically it's just a mercenary group that can fire people and then rehire to their group.
I guess I got fired and never asked to come back.
Yeah. No, we invited you back. You didn't want back. You didn't have any dice in it. You couldn't be happy with the cards and the thinking.
No, y'all were throwing me the odds. Carlos, when you flip that card, the odds are going to be, 100 to 1 that it's going to be and boom, yes, it was.
It was.
I'm seeing as Carlos flips through these pictures, Connor, the little XP crystals in the original game, they were like stackable. They're just cardboard. So
the Stormlight version?
No, I think that's in the Epic Origins you were just showing, Carlos. I don't know which one you're on. In your version, Connor, are they stackable or are they cardboard?
Yeah, they're just like yours where they're stackable. There's like little plastic.
Okay, maybe it was Stormlight
stackable
then.
ones.
Okay, cool. See,
Yeah, I think
what are
the
you showing right
Stormlight,
now?
this is Stormlight.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can
even
see-
sure what that series is. I've never read those books.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. You got to read them.
It's a recommendation?
Yes, Brandon Sanderson's the guy who he had the biggest Kickstarter ever. He announced he wrote 4 extra books during COVID.
For no product, for the idea of a product, right? Didn't he
Right.
get like a bunch of money to like come up with books later?
No, he's already got them written. And
Are they all
it's-
written?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so the Kickstarter was the release of the 4 books over the next year or two, and then in between there's gonna be like little gifts and like kind of like mystery boxes regarding each book that are gonna come out. And he's self-publishing. That's why it's gonna take a while to get it all done. He's not going through a big publishing firm. And
Okay,
that's
I
why
thought it was
he's-
gonna go George
he's-
R.R. Martin on us and just kind of like disappear for a few years in between each book.
This
like-
dude is
like
probably the
10
most
years,
prolific
yeah.
author of our lifetimes. Like he pumps
Wow,
out books
bro,
like
that
does.
is deep. That
No,
is
seriously,
strong statement.
He is like the modern equivalent of Tolkien if Tolkien was writing a book a year, basically.
So
He
what
finished-
book, Connor? What book should I start with? When I go to my Kindle, when I go to
Well,
bed here
so
after this, I'm gonna have my Kindle in my hand and I
So-
read before bed. What book should I start with?
I am not the Brandon Sanderson expert, unfortunately, but I discovered Brandon Sanderson through his Reckoner's trilogy, which is his own take on superheroes.
And there's
like,
also a board
twist
game based
some
on
of
that
the
too.
Reckoner Steelheart, series, yep.
Oh, I heard that was a good game.
Oh, there is.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Reckoner's
I didn't know
good.
that.
Yep.
That's a good game. It's a big production, and so it's expensive and it's hard.
It's got
to
like
get.
game
I
trays
know-
in it,
I know
right?
what
Like
board
built-in
game
game
is, yeah.
trays.
Really nice game trays. Yep.
No,
So
but
the
like,
Reckoners
think
is
of it
his
as
young
like
adult
multiple-
books. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's a young adult book. It's his own take on superheroes. Basically, there was a second moon that went into the air called Calamity, and it gave half of the Earth's population superpowers. And with that being said, it's a lot of them were superpowers that kind of generic: visibility, fly, whatever. There was some people like curveballs who could do like the Watchmen curve bullet move.
Oh my god!
I thought was the best thing ever. And then you have the title book or the title character Steelheart, which in like the first page, spoiler alert, first page, he comes out as the villain. His big power is that he gets like pissed off essentially, and he turns an entire city block into just pure steel. Anybody, anything turns to steel instantly. And so he becomes this high epic and this huge super villain, and then a lot of different people that gain powers join his side. So the whole story is about this group called the Reckoners trying to take him down to get rid of the hierarchy.
So where should I start with the Brand Sand stuff?
I might.
Okay,
so
I've read
I would
everything
say-
he's written. So if
Mistborn?
Connor's only read Reckoners,
Oh,
I would
humble
say
brag.
start with
Humble brag.
I would recommend Mistborn. It's
Mistborn.
one of his his adult novels, and that's the introductory level. And if you like Mistborn, you'll love Stormlight. But Stormlight, they're like 1,000 pages each. So just to test the water, if I were you, I'd go to Mistborn. Yep, Ron's backing me up. The Final Empire.
Yeah, that's
all
what
of
I was
his
going to suggest too. Is Mistborn.
all of his adult books are set in the same universe. There's a little bit of crossover once you read a lot of them, but you're eventually going to see like an MCU, like, characters crossing over, in the grand scope of things.
All right, so I wrote down Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn, Book 1. I'll get the
there's even a board
book
game that
and
makes
the
all-
Audacity version.
Yeah, it also has a board game. I own it.
For
He has
the-
a lot of
oh,
board
I
game
don't
IP.
And it's weird because I've
a really
never
good board
read
game,
any
too.
of his novels. I figured usually with a board game, it introduces me or piques my interest, and I read the novels to go with it. That's how I got introduced to the Stonemaier series
Red
for
Rising.
Red Rising.
He's right.
Was
Yep.
the board game got me into the novels, but I've never had that with Stormlight. All right, so
Yeah.
I've got something new to.
Oh,
to
and
read.
think about it. So Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time, which was like 12 books deep and was his Amazon series. He like most fantasy authors who start this epic 50 novel book, they die before they finish it. Brandon Sanderson finished the Wheel of Time, and a lot of people believe that his finishing of that Wheel of Time series was probably better than the last 4 or 5 books that Robert Jordan wrote. So he's pretty prolific.
Prolific was a word Mitchell used and Wayne
He is.
used. That's
He's pretty good.
huge.
He's really good.
Rob,
He's up
are you
there.
into any of these, Rob?
I don't read, so no. But I like the board games. I like the
My
retro
man.
games. That was really
He,
good. But
he looks
I
up
don't
a
read
Rodney Smith video. He can't even read the rule book.
Exactly. I don't read rule books. I don't read real books. I
Hey,
don't read
Rob, I'll
novels.
leave that for you to discover.
To discover on your own. Yep.
Find a
Absolutely.
suitable replacement.
Yeah.
The Reckoners is good if you like good production value in a game. It really looks nice, and the whole thing that Reckoners, you're fighting against some random bad guys. You pull them out randomly, and you can scale the difficulty by how many you put in. Kind of similar to Horrified we were talking about on the podcast just last night. That's going to come out on Sunday. But Reckoners, the cool thing about that is you have to discover the weakness of each of the bad guys. So when they come
That's from
out,
the books. Yeah.
you've got a research track that you have to push the research track on each one of the bad guys. So you can either focus on one or you can spread out and research them all. But then you have to get them all to a certain research point, depending on the bad guy, to then discover what the weakness is before you can start attacking them and taking down their health. And so, yeah.
So
again,
I never read the Reckoners, but is it sort of like The Boys before The Boys?
Oh,
the young adult
boys.
version of the boy.
The young- Kinda
the
see
YA
that, yeah.
version of The Boys.
Yeah,
Is that-
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Connor,
Well, thanks for the
appreciate
call,
your call,
Connor.
man.
Yeah, you open up the discussion to all kind of different topics. Good job.
It doesn't need to be board
Oh,
games to call in, folks. I want y'all to know, like anything geek centric. It could even be sports. We don't care. We just want to talk to y'all, the gaming
Oh, that was
community,
a bad
about
idea.
the
Don't
stuff
open
that
up sports
interests us.
to me.
You know,
No sports for you.
We'll leave that to
Well,
Rob.
I'm about to actually, since we got the phone, I'm about to go play an NBA video game. So maybe next week I'll call in and be like, "Hey, I played NBA 2K."
yeah, very nice.
Yeah, we can need more people to call in and talk RPGs and D&D. So I'm like the only one in the group here.
Do that whenever I'm not
That's
on.
easy.
yeah, I'll set that one out. Yeah. Thanks
Later,
for calling,
man.
Connor. Have a good
I'll see you
evening.
tomorrow. Read that rule book.
All right, thank you guys.
Bye.
Pull up that Rodney video.
Sports Thursday night football on my fantasy team's tearing it up right now. Just saying. Anyway, but go ahead.
You didn't pick any Cowboys though, did you?
No, they're not playing tonight. But no. Actually,
say
I have
no.
the quarterback
It's okay.
who's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I
Oh,
had
you
to,
got shafted.
yeah, exactly. So week 1, my quarterback goes down. Way to go! Oh, there we go. There's some.
That's what you get for drafting the
Reckoners.
Cowboy.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, tell
Oh,
me about it.
Sam just said she passed with 71. Very good job.
Oh,
1 point to
nice.
spare. Good job,
Very
Sam.
nice.
We're
That
proud
was
of
a quick
you.
game then.
That was
solo
very
really
quick.
Yeah, that's,
I've never played the Reckoners. I've never even seen the Reckoners, but just I think somebody called in about it at one point.
Yeah.
And when I saw those game trays, when I was talking to
Oh,
that caller
yeah.
about it,
They're nice.
and the dice, I mean, like the production quality of this game. Look at it. That's Roaring
Yep.
Right style dice there.
Yep.
That's
they were nice.
That's the exact
uh,
same thing I was thinking of, but you wouldn't know you were
Dinosaur
asleep.
Island style.
Yeah, you
Yes,
slept
me,
through almost
me and
the
your
whole
cat
thing.
who stole your die. That game
ever
doesn't
find that
count
die?
because
Is
it
it
have
still
all the
missing?
dice.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it. I bet.
Have you
Look at
still
those-
not called the game company to ask for a replacement
a
die?
replacement die? Yeah, they'll send you one. Yeah.
I don't know which one is missing though.
Bobby, I don't care. Just tell them I'm missing a die.
Line, you
Let,
can
and then
figure
go
it out.
from there. Figure out
They'll,
what
they'll
happened.
walk you through. They have customer service. They'll walk you through it. But look
I
at those
have
trays.
anxiety. I
Look at
have
those trays on the
anxiety
Reckoner.
knowing that game is missing a die.
You know.
Like, because you can't get rid of it. You can't
Get
sell it.
over
You
it.
can't loan it to anyone.
Get over
Because
it,
it's
man.
missing a die.
Yeah, just play without it. It's all right. Just it throws
No,
the odds
you
only
can't. That's not an
80% one way
option.
or the other.
It's
But
not an option. This is
It's
not
random.
okay.
It's random. It's very possible that die is never drawn.
What if that
Never,
die has a
never,
face
never.
on it that no other dice has?
Well, it's just the odds that we never picked it up.
Yeah, just never came out. Never
We
happened.
cannot be friends.
Yeah.
All right, bye. I'll sign it off next time. Later.
Yep.
Just call them. We got time for one more caller. Anybody who wants to get in and get that last call? We
5
promise
10
to be here
minutes.
till 10:30.
Yeah, but look at those trays. I
Um,
keep saying that, but I mean, this just looking at you scrolling through these pictures makes me want to play this game again.
That looks like a TTS version.
Yeah, they've got it
No,
up.
no,
on,
this is just like
no,
the
that's-
CCG, like we want to get your money Kickstarter.
That's what it looks like, though. I mean,
That's-
that is what the trays look like. I mean, that's they've got it over at your turn. Well, when we're over there sometime, let's go play it.
and it's minis too, right?
Yep, it's all in the box, all in the base.
Nice.
So yep. Yeah,
All right,
it's
I'm going to
nice.
run through while we wait some of the new acquisitions I'll get out here. Somehow, some way, Days of Wonder has gotten reprinted out, a lot of the Memoir 44 stuff, and I've finally been able to complete my collection of Memoir 44, everything except for what's not in print. There's some things that they're never going to bring back into print. It's just not going to happen. But the stuff that, other than that, I've now been able to fully complete my collection. thanks to Boardlandia and Miniature Market. I've been able to get all these packs here. Oh, we got Nick Oben on the line. I don't have to screen.
Yeah,
that.
just hang up.
Screen that.
Should
Who
we
knows
hang
what he's
up?
going to say?
You may not want to let him on. That's,
It's too late. I already let him on. Damn.
say your name and where you're calling from.
Oh wait, let me push the Bluetooth button. I was just.
Oh, you got to do a thing, Carlos.
Okay, let's try that again. Hi, Nick. Say your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, hi. This is Nick, as well as the voice of the Beans and Dice podcast.
Hey, Joyce. We were excited
hey,
when we
Joyce.
found out Joyce was here.
Yeah, that's why we let him.
That's why I called. I'm surprised you're still taking phone calls, but I was gonna, when Carlos screened, I was gonna say, wait, I have Joyce. Don't hang up. You know.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's the key. That'll get him.
Hey, Joyce. What you been gaming up to?
We are actually currently in the middle of a game of Patchwork.
Oh, nice. Good game.
Best
Making
game
some
ever.
quilt.
Not about that, but
Good, good little late night. This is part of the game a day challenge. Is oh crap! It's 10 p.m. and I haven't played a game yet. And then
that's a
Joyce
thing.
goes over and grabs Patchwork and we get it done. Yeah.
Sweet.
So the
But
kids
it's,
don't
but it's fun.
necessarily have to be in
Instead of
every
us-
game?
What's that? Oh no, right, that's right. So, but basically, it was unrealistic. We discovered right away because I travel for work sometimes. So the three of us are really independently doing game a day. It just so happens that probably 95% of those plays are the three of us together. But
Right.
there'll be days where it doesn't make any sense for the three of us to play. The two of them can play. I mean, they don't travel for work, you know. So like earlier today, what did they play? They played Onitama, which actually got a reference earlier in your chat there.
Yeah.
Nice.
The boys played Onitama. Yeah, normally that'll be still if I'm not available for a game with them during hours, especially once the school started again in August. They're gone all day, so if there's evening plans, sometimes it can be tricky. So they'll either do a game of Onitama or chess if it's just the two of them, and then Joyce and I will do a later night game, or sometimes we sneak a game in before school. Like we did that yesterday. We played a hand with the crew. We actually beat scenario 43 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So we are getting up.
6
Yeah,
left.
that was a
That's
good
it.
one.
You got to go 44 to 50, and then you're done.
That's it. And then we've got Deep Blue or whatever. We got the ocean version waiting for us.
Oh, yeah.
Which you got an introduction to live this.
Yeah.
We played live on BGA yesterday, right? Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yep, that's right. With Ron. Ron wanted to play, and we were available to hop on. So that was fun. Yeah,
Sweet.
actually, it was a good implementation on BGA. Liked it. Anyways, you guys are taking late night calls here. Appreciate it. Just really just wanted to call and say hi, and because Joyce and I were literally listening to your show while playing our game.
Oh,
Thought
nice.
It'd be fun to call and say hi. You guys are actually a ton of fun. If there's ever a lull in the calls there, I know earlier you were baiting people to call in. You guys are fun to listen to. Tell you what, it's a good conversation.
So we've heard that. I've heard of several people say that they kind of get lost in what we're talking about, and depending on our subject and our topic, they just forget to call. They just want to sit and listen. So
That's
So I
what
guess
the
we need to
podcast is for.
yeah, well,
We need to
that's the
stop
thing.
talking. If people don't call,
Yeah.
we just stare at the camera.
We just sit and
until
look
they
at each
call.
other. Yeah.
All right, guys. On 3, let's get awkward. 1, 2,
Gets
3.
awkward. Yeah.
Right, but I forget if you saw my comment there. If you want to do a callback to the talking about simulators, right? You were talking about sports simulators.
Okay, simulators. I thought we were talking about the chess game and the cheating. My bad.
No, that's a stimulator. There's a T
Stimulator.
there.
You're talking about sports that translate well into board games. Obviously, this is not sports, but a real-time activity that involves the strategy and intensity of real-time competition. I brought up Captain Sonar. I think does a really nice job of taking a very real-world competition, submarine combat, and turning it into that exciting, intense board game experience, tabletop experience. That's always a lot of fun.
You know what? You bring it up, and I've thought about this, and with your turn convention coming, Robert, we got to do this. we got to make this happen. We're gonna go get some rolls of Visqueen, and we're gonna make a real tight, cramped like corner of your turn, the hall, and it's gonna be just a table with 2 groups on either side, wrapped in Visqueen, real tight. Get that real like claustrophobic feeling, real dark, and then get like some red lamps. Like all you see is with the like. We're gonna really make it intense. Like let's do it. Yeah, let's go crazy. Because he's right. That game of Captain Sonar is one of the most stressful games I've ever played. Enjoyable stress, but stress nonetheless.
Yeah, sign me up. Your turn, Con. I love this game. I want in on that. Like, I want to play Captain Sonar. I've never actually played it with the full 8. I've only ever played with 6. Where if you play with 6, you have like the 2 rolls that are a little minor. Was it? I forget what.
There are no minor roles. There are less complicated roles that one person can do 2 roles. But I played up to 6. I'd love to get an 8-person player of that game of that.
8 player is definitely the best way to go.
And the 8 players where it shines and where it reminds me the most of some of those sports metaphors that Carlos was talking about earlier, because the captain really does kind of need to coach the other folks on the team. And he needs them to step up and do their job, like Carlos, you were talking about, the baseball player, who you put him in the right position, you set him up for success, and then you got to go do your job. Otherwise, we lose, right? And that's the feeling that Captain Sonar gives. I mean, when the guy on the radio, on the sonar side, is the only one who can really determine the position of the enemy sub, and then your engineer tells you weapon systems are online, your first mate has charged torpedoes, you declare stop, fire torpedoes, and you hit. And it's only because the guy at the end of the table knew that the enemy was at G3 or whatever, and their face lights up and the whole table's like, yes! It's like teamwork at its finest.
I'm saying we got to do it. Let's get the Visqueen. Let's get the PVC pipes. Let's make the tube. Let's darken it up. Get the red lights in there.
We're still talking about board games?
No, we are. Look, listen, Wayne, I will be your Sean Connery. You can be my Alec Baldwin. We're going Hunt for Red October, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah. And I have all those expansion boards too that give you different scenarios.
I think Rob picked those up at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I've got them here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. They're fun. It's a good game. Love it. And you got to play real time too. Like, turn-based
real time.
You got to play real time.
Yeah, real time.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even realize until I bought the game. I didn't know there was a turn-based, not real-time version. I saw there is. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
I mean,
there's not one.
It's more
the
like
kids. It's for the kids.
But they have a kids reskin. They're just called Sonar.
There's 3 versions of it now. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have it. I have Sonar. It's the turn-based version for the kids.
Yeah, they have. There's not 4 roles. It's 6 players instead of right. Isn't Sonar smaller?
I think 3v3 at most.
Yeah,
and then there's one that's just a head-to-head. It's just 2 players. But yeah,
that's just Battleship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, very good. It's 10:32, so we're gonna let you go, and we got to finish. I gotta let Joyce finish beating me from Patchwork here.
Yeah, Joyce. Joyce, we're in your corner.
Come on, Joyce.
You
got him.
We're all rooting for Joyce.
Yep.
Joyce, I'm gonna need you for some more audio work. I know you volunteered a lot for the beans and dice, so I'll get with you and Nick to see if I can get some more buffers from y'all for the show, because Mitch has been doing an awesome job producing the podcast. So I want to get him some audio focus on the podcast side. So we'll get with you. And your name is on every episode of this show. At the bottom, there's your name. Every podcast we've posted, every video we've posted, your name is at the bottom of every single one. So we want to appreciate all the work you've done with us.
Oh, thanks. So you guys are awesome. So yeah, just let me know what else you need.
Y'all have a good night, you Obens.
Thanks for calling.
It is.
All right.
Thanks.
Night.
He's like night.
Night. That's dad talk right there.
He's got 3 little kids at home. Yeah. Night.
It's like I'm at work sometimes and I'm talking about like, hey, do you guys need to go potty? And it's like, what? It's like, sorry, I'm too used to talk to the kids.
Logging off.
Hey,
talk
about
about these at all, Carlos?
Oh no, he hasn't yet.
He's not looking. He's looking at his phone.
I'm working the phone.
You gotta look up here.
Working the phone. Yeah.
Can you talk about these at all?
Yeah.
You had a good,
I'm gonna put those up soon on
a lot of success selling these.
Man, they sold like hotcakes. I finally figured out how to laser etch on slate, which isn't really as easy as you think. That's a tough medium to work on. But man, they sold out fast at the Escape WinterCon, which is great because it was my wife's birthday. So I told her, I said, hey, listen, I'm doing the flea market. Your birthday dinner is going to be really focused on or based on how well I do at this flea market. I'll let you know. We ate well.
Yeah, the cork ones are really nice, but those slate ones are just an extra level of special.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
Literally.
All right, phone line's off. So that gets us done there. Let's see. Catch it up on any upcoming news, kind of like church at the end where we give you the upcoming news on what's coming up. We got a podcast releasing this Sunday. Mitch, mad props on releasing a podcast every Sunday weekly. I know the folks have been asking at home for a weekly podcast. You made it happen. There's another one
just
coming.
Me. It's all of us.
Yeah, we work together as a team. We do. Let's see. Game day in this month for the month of, I think October is going to be the next game day. Second Saturday game day is going to be
you got September. You got the 24th.
September 24th. Yeah, we're meeting up with the Wesley Chapel group over at Your Turn.
Yep.
So
Wesley Chapel group that's coming up. Yep.
Joint game day there. So Your Turn hosting both us and the
Rich
and the
mentioned the Welcome to tournament coming soon. As soon as somebody finishes their half of the BGA bracket.
Shut it. We're almost there. I'm in second place, but every time every time we have a go around of the dice, somebody else takes the lead. So it's this one, as I think Nick mentioned before, this one it's really tight. Ours is all four of us are within like 15 points of each other.
Isn't it nice how it distilled down to like just the cream of the crop? Like this game,
this one's really a nail biter. Yep.
So you guys got the game day on the 24th. I'm actually going to be at Necronomicon here in Tampa, which is on that weekend.
By USF, right?
Embassy Suites USF on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be there gaming for the 3 days.
I've attended before, but I've not been in a media capacity. I got to get back there.
Yeah,
they have good gaming
next year.
There.
You should get it.
They have good gaming.
They have decent gaming, yeah, and they have a couple of panels. And they have like a horror movie competition and some other stuff. And they have a lot of they do focus on a lot of writers and fantasy authors and stuff. And then they have my brain is just froze for a second. They have a gaming area. Oh, they have a dealer room. So maybe next year we can get a beans and dice table for you and sell some coasters and stuff. So and some other stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's
right
like
up the road.
Yeah, it's like 400 or 500 people at the Embassy Suites for 3 days, so it's fun.
Yeah, I DJ'd a bar mitzvah
coming
at that
soon.
Embassy Suites one time.
Keep an eye out for t-shirts coming soon.
Rob's got some t-shirts coming up. Check us out on theboardgamenexus.com. Theboardgamenexus.com. I've opened up a store on the Board Game Nexus itself. It actually has a really good marketplace format and setup. It's even easier than Etsy to post my accessories on there. So if I got my first listing on there for the Lords of Waterdeep wooden tokens, so wooden coins instead of the cardboard coins, but we're going to start putting up the t-shirts on there, the coasters on there. So a lot of that merch that helps support the purchasing of this subscription to be able to do what we're doing here remotely, all that money that goes towards this, y'all can support that by checking out the Board Game Nexus and looking up the Beans and Dice store, where you're going to find stuff that Rob and I will be selling to help support the channel, to get the cameras, to get Rob is set up similar to here Studio B as in Bean. We want to create Studio C as in Charlie, or C as in Childers, over at Rob's house, so that he can do his live plays, get them online without me having to be there.
Let's make it happen. I'm dying to do some live plays. Just turn on the camera and play some games.
That way, William and I can do the war games over here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll play whatever. But yep.
So that's our news. That's our update.
And don't forget Lafayette, Louisiana tomorrow, game night at Jeremy's house. I'm sure you guys are going to drive over.
Oh, everybody at Lafayette, Jeremy's house. Woo! We're there.
Hey, what about the Sobo? Because we're getting closer to planning next year's PTO and all that. I got to start picking my time off for next year. Any work on Sobo?
I think I mentioned this before, but I know that time of year really worked out for you guys. But so what happened was scheduling got all changed. Exactly. Scheduling for everything got changed because of COVID. And it was just a fortuitous accident that we happened to be running it at the same time as Festival Acadien, which had all the food across the street. And so actually the kind of the president, John, you guys met him. He wants to just ride those coattails. That says in a bad way, but, continue to make that happen.
And
they've already
matched that up because we can get food over there and some Abitas and some boudin balls.
Boudin. Yeah. So the thing is, they're usually in the fall. They were in the spring because of COVID. So it's going to be a little bit longer of a wait, but it's going to be fall of 2023. The exact dates, I don't know, but it's on the Sobo Facebook page. We can check.
All right.
And yeah.
About a year. Yeah.
And then for y'all folks that want to travel to game cons just to see different parts of the country, Sobo or Southern Board Game Fest is one that I'm looking to make that trip again.
Yeah.
I
I'm
keep
all over it.
saying the people of Lafayette were some of the kindest, sweetest people I've ever met in any of my travels in the U.S.
But don't drink the water,
blew my
right?
mind. It's swamp water though. We got swamp water here in town.
No. In New Orleans, you say, "What do you guys put in your drinks down
Oh
here?"
my God, alcohol!
What do y'all
I
have
tell
in your
you,
water
in
down
New
there?
Orleans, even the water's got like a 5 ABV.
On that note,
Yeah.
The moment Carlos makes it awkward, we know we're done.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our call-in show. Eastern time, 9 p.m. from 9 to like 10, 10:30-ish. We're working on that 2 o'clock thing. We'll figure it out.
10:39.
yeah, exactly.
Sundays, you'll get the podcast. Outside of that, we will catch you all on the next one. I'm Carlos,
I'm Rob.
I'm Mitchell.
And I'm Wayne.
and we're a podcast about
How we
How we
game?
game.
I love it.
Thanks
I
for
love it.
Thanks for watching,
the
everybody.
Games and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
By the way, in case
I love
nobody
it.
knew
I
that.
love it.
Yeah. Later.